We had an audience in the booth that came by, and then we had an audience on Zoom that was active. Both activities of the booth and the cart were separate and deserve some investigation. Next, we'll talk about the cameras that we used, both from the IVI device and what we carried around in our pockets, and the post-production of, sharing things on Dropbox, getting footage into QCam in the right way, formatting things in Keynote, and then using DaVinci Resolve to do some audio tricks. We had a lot going on. But first, officehours.global is the online community that is up not only every morning doing a production, but they have after hours 24 hours a day. And that's what we were publishing to. They ask questions. So they could be in South Africa or England or whatever, and the person presenting would be at the show floor and they'd ask questions and get two-way dialogues going in the booth. And I was set up with QCam and I had a couple of iPhones. We had one-to-one Zooms. So we had two stations set up, and we had Chris in one station in Seattle and Ray in another station in the East Coast. And we'd buttonhole someone to come in and talk to them one on one, and they'd say hi, and people would be startled. It's live. That's not a hologram. And then, where are you from? I'm in Seattle. Oh, are you on Zoom often? Yes, or Meets, Teams, whatever. And the conversation would start, and then this is what I would use it for. Oh, this is interesting. Those sorts of comments would bubble up from that engagement of using the device and talking to the person on the other end. On the cart, it was a little bit different in that it was a two-way connection again, but you had 40 people. They were on after hours and they could ask a question anytime they wanted to, or sometimes it was very crowded and we had to push through a crowd of people. And so Guy Cochran is the mastermind of this. He'd tell people on the Zoom to make beeping noises like you're a garbage truck backing up. And they did. And people would part. They'd hear through the speakers of the IVI on the cart. That was our horn. That audience of people on Zoom, it was like candy to anybody who was in the booth who wanted to talk. And there were some people who didn't want. There was one woman who was ducking, trying to get out of the way. And that's the spokesperson, have him talk, not me. Or that they would find that person and get him out there and say, hey, we've got somebody with a whole audience. So you get priority by having that cart. Live, obviously, the Ivies were fabulous. Those cameras were wonderful for people to interact with. But also, I had a couple of iPhones as shoot cameras to QCam, and I was recording those. I was getting B-roll that way, also using our iPhones. People would get a picture of this, get a picture of him talking with the device in front. People want to have their pictures taken. And when you pull up a little iPhone, they know, hey, time to act appropriately. One trick that might be a takeaway is take a video and speak what you're taking the picture of. In other words, to document that little video, this is so and so coming to the booth, and his background is this or that. And that video clip can then be used as basis for follow-up. Finally, there was a whole process of what do you do with this massive stuff. And the good news is you can upload it to Dropbox. Multiple people can use it for multiple things. Certainly getting stills from video is a great thing to do. One thing that I needed to work on is I got a number of recordings with just one channel of audio, and then I take it into DaVinci Resolve, which has the ability on a track level to say, put this source track on this destination track. And you have a mono coming out of both speakers. Another was Keynote. You've got a picture and it's not really formatted correctly. It's not really framed. Put it in Keynote, expand it out, get the framing, and then export it as a PNG, and you're good to go. So I think we're in a place where doing something like this, where you've got live audiences traveling with live cameras, with B-roll, with assembly after the fact, it's a whole new spin on events.